Good morning, everyone. My name is Snehashish Das, Faculty of Biology. Today I will describe about human circulatory system. In this picture, you can see the diagram of a heart. How the heart is made up of, what are the materials with which they are made up of. So I will discuss it step by step. First of all, I will tell you about the constituents of the human circulatory system. First of all, the human circulatory system consists of heart, which is the main constituents. Then come blood vessels, with which the blood flows from the heart to rest part of the body, and the blood comes also from rest part of the body to the heart. Now, the next is the very important part is the blood. We know that it is the transport material. Now see, what does it transport? It transport food, nutrients and oxygen. The main thing is the oxygen and the nutrient by which we are surviving. Now, the transport mechanism with the help of blood vessel and the thing which is getting transported is known as blood. It happens with the help of two circuits. We know in electrics we know about electric circuits, and that way only we have two circuits in our human body which transports the blood, which transports the nutrients, which transport the oxygen. Now these two circuits are, first of all, it is pulmonary circuit, and second is systematic circuit. Pulmonary circuit is short circuit. Short means it has the length is short, whereas the large circuit is known as systematic circuit. Now the pulmonary circuit runs between heart and lungs. The cycle goes from from heart, and it will through lungs and then comes towards the heart. And then what is the function of this circuit? These circuits purify the blood. So what is the meaning of purification of blood? Purification means the waste material which comes from the tissues after the respiration, that is carbon dioxide, it is filtered out from the lungs, from our body, and it takes the oxygen from the lungs, from the alveoli of the lungs, and it goes into the blood vessels. So the pulmonary circuits runs between heart and lungs. Then after this we have systematic circuit, which runs between heart and peripheral tissues. It is a long circuit which goes throughout the body, and it carries, and the blood carries in the systematic circuit the oxygen. We know that the function of oxygen is to make the ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, from which we get the energy. It helps in the metabolism of the nutrients which get digested in the small intestine. So these circuits help to carry the oxygen throughout the body tissues, throughout the peripheral tissues. Now we will discuss about cardiac circulatory system. Cardiac circulatory system. It provides nutrients and oxygen to the body by transportation with the help of blood. It helps that is, we have discussed, we have the two cycles, pulmonary circuit and systematic. That's the same thing, together makes the cardiac circulatory system. See, in the heart, the blood comes twice. Twice the blood comes. That's why the circulatory system is known as double circulation. So if someone asks you which type of blood does the pulmonary circuit carries, we have to say that it carries deoxygenated blood. That means it doesn't have any oxygen. So what does it carrying if it doesn't have an oxygen? It is carrying the carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide comes from where? The carbon dioxide is coming after the metabolism, the waste product, it is gathering the waste product, and that is the carbon dioxide is a waste product which is get into the blood vessels, and it is carrying those deoxygenated blood into the lungs to purify. So we know that purification means it put out the carbon dioxide and the oxygen comes in the blood. Again, it is purifying, it is exchanging the gas from the alveoli. And a systematic circuit, we have discussed that systematic circuit, it used to carry the oxygenated blood. Now, so heart. So what is this function of this heart? The heart is nothing but a pumping machine. We know that, suppose this square is an heart. It has 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles, right? So human heart have 2 chambers, atria, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. So now what is this function of this atria? Atria collects blood returning to the heart, and ventricles, that is a lower portion of this heart, which pumps out the blood out of the heart. And here one more point is there. The walls of the ventricles are comparatively thick. Why thick? Comparatively because it have to pump the blood throughout the body. That is, it have to pump the blood through a long distance. You have to make more pressure. So ventricle have thick layer. Now there are valves present in between these 2 chambers. There is a valve. There are valve in between. So these valves, I will show you here the valves. These valves here prevents the backflow of the blood. See, I am telling about the names of the valve. The valve which is present between right atrium and right ventricle, it is tricuspid valve. The valve which is present between left atrium and left ventricle is known as mitral valve. Similarly, there are more other valves like pulmonary valve. The valve it prevents the backflow of the backflow of the blood from the pulmonary artery towards the ventricle. And similarly, in left ventricle there is aortic valve which prevents the blood from returning from aorta to the left ventricle. We know that heart is in the shape of your fist. This is your fist, and the shape of your heart is like this fist only. So this is the pumping machine. We know that this is a pumping machine which pumps the blood. It pumps the blood throughout the body, and it pumps the blood for the purification as well. Now let us come to the next thing. Cardiac output. What is the cardiac output? The amount of blood that is needed to pump out from the heart per minute is known as cardiac output. In males, the cardiac output is 5.6 liter, whereas in females it is 4.9 liter. Comparatively, we can say that the cardiac output of males are more as compared to the females. Males have more cardiac output than females. Now, there is also a formula of this cardiac output. So, what is the formula of this cardiac output? Cardiac output is equals to heart rate multiplied by strokes volume. Heart rate multiplied by stroke volume. So we have to be familiar with these things. What is heart rate and what is stroke volume? Heart rate means the number of beats per minute is known as heart rate, and strokes volume, amount of blood that collects in ventricle when they are at full capacity and about to contract. So cardiac output is equals to heart rate multiplied by strokes volume. Now, a question comes that is the cardiac output is same for everybody every time? No. Cardiac output varies. Varies with what? It varies with whether the person is exercising or resting. Whether the person is exercising or resting. Now, let us come to the next slide, that is blood vessels. Heart has 3 types of blood vessels. What are these 3 types of blood vessels? These are arteries, veins, and capillaries. 3 types of blood vessels are there. Now, what is the functions of these 3 types of blood vessels? So anyone can say the vessels is like a tube. So the function of tube is to carry the blood. But why there is 3 names? Arteries, veins, capillaries. Why 3 names? The names comes according to their size. Now see, what is the size of, or what is the meaning of these vessels? Now, arteries. Function is it transport blood towards the tissue and away from the heart. It transport the blood from the heart to all the tissues. It carries the oxygenated blood from the heart to the tissues. So it carries the blood to a long distance. So it must have thick muscular wall, otherwise the vessel will burst out. So it has thick muscular wall and small internal lumen. Lumen is very small and can withstand blood with high pressure. So you can see in this picture there are different layer of these arteries. This layer makes the wall very much thick, which withstand the high blood pressure. So the high blood pressure, blood flows through these arteries. Next, veins. Function of this vein is to carry same thing, the blood, but it carries the blood from the tissues towards the heart. That means after getting the oxygenated blood towards tissues, it carries the blood with carbon dioxide towards the heart. So does it need thick wall? No, it doesn't need a thick wall, because it does not contain blood with high blood pressure. So the blood here is of low pressure comparing to the arteries, but not with capillaries. Capillaries have less blood pressure. Now in veins, the lumen is large comparing to the arteries, and it have valve also, and the valve, and we have told that the valve is used to prevent the blood from flowing backward. Now capillaries is found in the muscle and lungs. It is very thin tubes. These are we can have mentioned in the slide also. See, it is microscopic and one cell layer thick endometrial lining, very thin. So the thin layer of the cell wall helps in the gaseous exchange, helps to exchange of the nutrient. We know that in alveoli the gases are being exchanged. In muscles also different nutrients are being exchanged. So it needs a very thin wall. So here we don't need arteries, we don't need veins, we need capillaries. Blood having very low pressure. So the function of the capillary to exchange the gases, to exchange the nutrients, to exchange the water. Now, the foremost important thing, the blood, which is being carried by all these tubes, arteries, veins, capillaries. So what are the components of this blood? We know that blood have plasma, blood have RBC, WBC, platelets. We have to memorize it. Plasma, RBC, WBC, platelets. The plasma is what? Plasma is fluid surrounding it that helps the carbon dioxide, hormones, waste products to flow from it. It makes the material inside the vessels fluid. Otherwise it will not flow. Suppose there is a pipe and you have inserted some balls into it. Does the ball will move? No, the ball will not move until and unless you will put some force of water or force some liquid inside it. So the plasma does the same. It makes the material fluid to move the hormones, waste products, carbon dioxide. The next part is the cellular part. It consists of RBCs and WBC. RBC is also known as erythrocytes, and if we term in full, that is known as red blood cell. Red blood cell. So why it is red? Because it consists of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin contains the heme group, which is responsible to carry the oxygen. It binds with the oxygen and takes the oxygen with the blood, takes the oxygen from where it is required. So it acts as an oxygen carrier. Now, if we talk about WBCs, WBCs make antibodies which is help to fight against the germs, which is used to fight against the unwanted foreign material. So it will boost up our immune system. Now, if we talk about platelets, other component of the blood, it helps in clotting of the blood. Clotting, we see after, suppose you have a cut and the blood is flowing from there, and after that the blood will make some coagulations, it will clot up, and function of this clotting is to prevent the bleeding. Otherwise all the blood will flow out. It clots up the blood. So these are the components. Plasma is the component, RBC, WBC, white blood cells. White blood cells is also known as leukocytes, and then platelets. So this is all about the overview of this human circulatory system. Hope you have liked this video. If you have any query, you can feel free to ask me also, and I will give you the accurate solution. Because see, heart is a vast chapter. You cannot sum up within few minutes of videos. It is a vast chapter. You have to make detailing of everything. How the hearts function, there is an electric charge. There is a lot of things to learn about the heart. We had just looked over the overview of this circulatory system. So if you have any query, you want to know more, you can feel free to ask, you feel free to query about these things, and I will try to make every solution of your query. Thank you.